Hey, this is Paige Ruderman, and this is the So Rude podcast. Welcome to the show. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the So Rude podcast. I'm Paige Ruderman, and today I am so excited to welcome a special guest to the show. Tyson James Roy is a singer-songwriter currently in Nashville, Tennessee. Tyson has always had music in his life thanks to his red rocker parents. Since picking up his guitar in his early teens, he has not put it down, which has led to him joining cover bands and worship teams across his home state of Indiana, which stretched his skills as a musician, songwriter, and creative. I met Tyson earlier this year at the very first Popville writing camp called Camp
Woo-hoo.
Popville at a little remote cabin one weekend in February. I'm so excited to dig into his journey to Nashville, his experience as a singer-songwriter in town, his newest single, Find Me Now, and more. Tyson, welcome to the So Rude podcast. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Paige, thank you so much for having me. This is gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. I've been pumped all morning for this.
I'm so excited. Me too. I'm so happy to have you. And what a road it has been to get here today from the beginning of this year to now. I can't
Yeah.
wait to dig into all of it.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. I'm an open book.
So I know I shared a little bit about your background, but is there anything you'd
Mhm.
like to tell us, maybe a little bit more about you or anything I may have missed?
You definitely covered a lot of ground there. I think this journey to Nashville has just been everything that I needed. And I think this has been one of the roads that a lot of people have needed. They've needed to go down the road to Nashville and go see what it's all about. And I mean, I've told this story and stuff before, but for a super long time, I was like, Lord, you could take me anywhere else, but do not take me to Nashville. Like it's just country town, you know? And I thought that's what it was. Because there's like this stigma attached to Nashville where like it's just country people. And then I end up, visiting a couple times, fell in love with the city, and I was like, I'm never moving back to Indiana. I'd rather go sleep in a cardboard box than move back to Indiana.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh.
and so now I'm here. And Nashville is so expansive, and it's more than just country. But you have to be here and find your group to see that it's more than just country. And obviously, like what you talked about, Camp Popville, it was like I never really thought of myself much of like a pop artist, but I guess in some ways I kind of am. And so um, we just ended up all spending a couple days in a cabin in the woods, and all of these crazy relationships and stuff have flourished from it. And it's just like never would have thought in a million years that I'd be some dude from Indiana trying to come to Nashville, and trying to make, this thing work and do things like this. This is so cool.
Yeah, I love what you hit on about people have an assumption that Nashville is strictly country. And I
Uh,
think that's because a lot of country music does come from Nashville. But you're right, there is community to be found if you're pop, if you're, how would you describe
mm.
yourself? Would you say you're kind of like folk Americana?
Oh,
How would you define
yeah.
your lane? And it's okay if you don't have, one specific word.
Yeah, I mean, I guess indie artist would probably just be like the overall encompassing. Obviously, Find Me Now was very pop and like emo driven inspired. Because when I remember whenever all three of us were writing this, we were like, this is gonna go hard. This
Yeah.
is going to be such a cool song. And so I think probably like emo pop maybe, or indie pop, something along those lines. Um, but these next couple songs that we've been working on and that we're gonna release are much more organic. And so I would say it probably falls more into like the rock line. Maybe like an indie rock is kind of the vein that I've been um, working towards. And I think Find Me Now is kind of just like an exploration in trying to find that sound. Um, but yeah, and this is the first song I've had where like it's been more production and like less like real instruments. And a
Really?
bunch of these, yeah, yeah, like I mean, a lot of this stuff is, we did a lot of by MIDI and Splice and stuff like that. But these next couple songs are very raw, very organic, all real instruments, drums, tube amps, like, the whole nine yards. And so I'm really excited to get those out, but I'm also really, really proud of what we did with Find Me Now and kind of touching in like this weird emo pop thing. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm here for it. I grew up listening to so much like emo, pop punk, stuff like that. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the fact that it has like hints of that is
Yeah,
super, super cool.
yeah.
But really quick, Red Rocker Parents, what does that mean? Because I saw that, I read that about you. I was like doing a little research, seeing if I could find any like tips or like bios for you online. And I saw that. What does that mean?
So, I'm named after Sammy Hagar. So, like, there's Sammy Hagar of Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, and the Cabo Wabas. Um, and so we grew up in rock and roll, and it was 1997. I was still in my mama's tummy, and she threw a she threw a flower up onto the stage. Um, and Sammy Hagar picked it up, and the note said, "What is your middle name? I want to name my child after you." And he said, I've never had anybody ask me this, but my middle name is Roy." And so that is where Tyson James Roy came from, out of Sammy Roy Hagar. And a lot of people don't know that. So that's just like that really uh, it really touches home to like the core and like the roots of the music that I love, the music that I grew up to. A lot of classic rock, just a lot of rock in general. But yeah, I mean, we just call ourselves Red Rockers because, Sammy Hagar, that's kind of just like what we're called, are the Red Rockers. So super, super proud to be named after somebody who has a crazy legend behind them. And I think I've seen Sammy. I think I've seen Sammy Hagar like 5 times,
Nah,
4 or 5 times. Yeah, my whole life. So, um, I saw him 2 years ago. Yeah, I
that
went
is
back.
so
I went back
cool.
home to Indiana just to go see Sammy. And then it's so crazy because like you're looking down on the stage, and you're like, I'm literally named after you. You
Right.
know.
Right. Did you
I
have you
don't
had
I
a
don't think
chance
very
to
many
tell
people can
him?
say that.
Have you had a chance to
Uh
tell him?
okay, so that night it was raining. And so the concert kept on getting pushed back. So like he came out for a little bit, then it started raining, and then I made a post on Instagram and I was like, "Sammy, I'm not leaving, and don't know if you know this, but I'm also named after you." And well, I don't know if it was him or somebody in this PR team, had responded to my Instagram and posted it on his Instagram. And he was like, "We're not going anywhere." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know if that was really Sammy Hagar. Probably not, but hopefully he actually saw that."
That is so killer. That is so cool.
It was a wild night. It was a wild night. So I definitely hope to see him again. And one of my dreams is for to one day have Sammy just like acknowledge my mom one way or another, like just like for like a shout out or like a message or something like that. So I'd love to surprise her one day with that. I think that'd be really cool.
Oh my God, speak it into existence. Like you gotta put
Got
that
to.
stuff out there, you know what I mean?
Got to. Oh my goodness.
That's like now a goal. How can we get this to come true for Tyson's mom? That way she's like, not only did I ask, got named my son after him, same middle name, and now he like knows about it full circle.
Full circle. Full circle. I hope that's true. Oh yeah, and then he also has Sammy Hagar in the circle. Yeah. Couple
That's
different projects. Mm-hmm.
that's really cool. And so I also, both from getting to write with you in the room and getting to see you play guitar, but also like listening to your music and reading that you've been playing guitar since your teens. When did you pick that up? Like, what made you gravitate towards guitar as an instrument of choice? And yeah, I would just love to learn more about that for you.
Yeah, I mean, basically to make a long story short, um, I know that girls like guys who play guitar. And I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. So I took 80 bucks. My dad took me down to the local music store and I didn't even have enough money for the case. I just had enough money for the guitar, for the acoustic guitar. And my dad was like, "Oh, I'll get the rest of it." Um, and so from there I just went home and it's just like never really stopped playing since. And then I kind of realized I'm like, I think I kind of got a knack for this, you know? Um, and really early, like I was already trying to like play in front of my friends. Like I'm learning like a bunch of like like I was learning like my first song was Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And I was like, okay, maybe I can actually play music, you know, maybe I can do something. Um, and then from there, it just kind of took off. And then I bought my first electric guitar, which is here in the studio. Um, it's a kind of an older Epiphone Les Paul, black on gold. And I remember walking into the music store with my family, and it was the first guitar that you saw as soon as you walked in on the right side. And I looked at that and I was like, just fell in love with it. I was like, I want this guitar so bad. And I looked at the price. I was like, never mind.
Oh no.
We're walking away right now. I I don't have enough money for this. And so we scoured the music store for like an hour or whatever, and we just ended up coming back to this guitar. And my dad was like, I'll help you out. Let's get the guitar. And so got that and then an amp and just kept on playing and playing and playing and then tried out for my worship team back at home and made it onto the worship team there and did all of that the music ministry at my church and all around my home city for I mean it was like a decade basically. Yeah, so we're 2025 and I think I started on the team in like 2012 or 2013 and
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah, haven't really stopped since and now I'm plugged into my church here and doing the same exact thing and I love it. Get to play guitar, I get to sing and you know, all that all that jazz. I love it so much.
That is so cool. Also, so true now. Red Rocker parents, mom with the namesake as far as like helping you get started with like musical roots all the way
Yeah.
down to the name. And then dad always coming in clutch with like, all right, I'll help you out with the case. Okay, I'll help you out
Yeah.
with the extra guitar. Like that is so cool and so powerful that they're so supportive of your vision of getting involved with music.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's I've met so many people down here and just so many friends where like their parents aren't supportive. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. Like I can't like imagine myself doing anything else, you know, and my parents since day one have been supportive, completely supportive. And they're like, "Okay, if that's what you like to do, if that's what you love to do, then we're going to support you." And I'm like, "Well, okay, you know, let's
Yeah.
okay." You know, there's people on your side, you know, you just have to find them. And sometimes they're not always, you know, right there in front of you. But man, definitely love my parents for that.
That is so cool. And I know you shared that after learning guitar, you started playing with your worship team in your home state of Indiana. So I'll admit, I've never been to Indiana. What is Indiana like? Like, give us a little taste, a little scene of what is it like growing up there?
Flat, flat. Um, you have corn. Then next to that field of corn, you have some more corn. And then next to that field of corn, you got some beans. And then next to that bean field, there's going to be some more corn,
More corn. Yeah.
more corn, more beans. But I mean, uh, Indiana is kind of got a legacy. Like we've got Garfield. Um,
The
yeah,
orange
yeah.
cat.
The orange cat.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, wait, nuh-uh.
Yeah, yeah, his parents lived in my same hometown. And so that was kind of cool. James Dean, a lot of people, some people know about James Dean, the old actor, then nice cars, good looking guy, ended up dying, yada yada yada. Sad. But um man, I mean there's other cool things to Indiana, but like, you
You were ready
know,
for a change.
I was so ready for a change. The land is so flat. And I kind of coined this term of like the small town mindset, where once you're in the small town mindset, it's really tough to get out of it. It's just like whenever you're in college and you're living on campus, it's like you probably don't leave campus very much. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, but then do that for 25 years of your life, and you're like, you kind of have to hit that point where it's like, do I want to stay here in the flatlands where nothing's really happening? The music scene in Indiana is practically non-existent. Um, it's there, but to make a living is just it's way too out of the field of possibilities. But then you move here, and it's like, if it's what you want to do, then you can do it. Um, and at least at the moment, I haven't found any way that I've capped out of Nashville. You know, I capped out in Indiana of, the vision that I had for myself. And then you move here and you're like, everything gets flipped on its head and you're like, dreams can actually come alive. You can actually do things here and make money and make a living, doing it as well. Didn't know that was really much of a thing in Indiana.
Right. I can so relate to that feeling of feeling like from your hometown, you're like, oh, I want to write songs. And people are like, that's nice. After your 9 to 5 on the weekends, you know what I mean? Maybe once in a blue moon. And then you move here and you start talking to people that have the same drive and the same vision as you and have
Yeah,
similar interests. And you're like, oh, wait, no, this can like actually become a thing. And it takes a
yeah.
lot of hard work, which you yourself, you're putting that in, but you're like, it's possible in a way that maybe I didn't
Mhm.
even believe it was possible before.
Precisely. Yeah. Yeah, precisely. I definitely had something I was getting ready to say right there, and I lost my train of thought, but
Got you.
it'll dawn on me eventually.
And
Something here what
so,
you said there.
yeah. And so, how long have you been in Nashville now? When did you move?
It was 2 years on July 5th.
Oh,
So I moved.
congratulations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So just a week out of 2 years here. Obviously moved here uh 2 years ago, a day after the 4th of July. Um
Wow.
and I spent all of the 4th, me and my best friend from back home spent pretty much all day of the 4th loading all of my junk into a U-Haul trailer and loading my car up and stuff like that, on the 4th of July. So it's like I didn't even get to spend, like, watch the fireworks or anything because I was too busy loading up. And I was like, I don't even care that I'm not seeing fireworks. Like, I'm just ready to move to Nashville.
Yeah.
um and the next day you wake up and me, my mom, my grandma, and my dad all came out here with me, and they helped me unpack and spend some time out here in Nashville. And yeah, and so grateful for a family that supports that, you know.
100%. And like, I get what you're saying. I didn't celebrate the holiday, but in a way, you celebrated it with your family the next day by like
Yes.
on the way to the next chapter of your journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was actually back at home in Indiana on July 5th. So
This
I
year.
spent, yeah, this year. So I
Oh,
spent my
wow.
Nashville celebration in Indiana, which was kind of funny, but
That's so funny.
yeah.
It's also like, again, another full circle moment of, what started in one place and how much can change or how much life can be lived between winding up in the same spot, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was like, man, I just I just want to go back to Nashville. I can't. It's like even whenever I'm back at home in Indiana, I'm still just thinking about Nashville. Um, and it's like I haven't got burnt out on that yet. And I hope that I never do. I don't ever want to get burnt out on that. I mean, so grateful just to be here and to have met people like you that make Nashville what it is.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
amazing people that make Nashville what it is.
So kind and right back at you. Like, truly, the talent in this town is incredible, but even more than that, enjoying people's company and just like getting to know new people and like their story and then like collaborating with them. I think that is so fun. And so, I totally agree. I think it's
Yeah.
super cool to be here.
Yeah. 110%. My very first show, I played at our local coffee shop. And um it was the Abbey is what it was called, and I had my little PA speaker, and I sat up in the corner of the room, and a bunch of my friends and family came out to the show, and I did like an hour set or whatever, and did a bunch of originals and some covers and stuff like that. And at that point in time, I had no reference for one day moving to Nashville. I was like, I'm just gonna try making. I guess I'm gonna sing at a coffee shop. Sure. And now here we are in Nashville playing all over the place.
That's incredible. So do you like to play out in Nashville? Are you doing, I know you said you're involved with your church and their worship team. Are you also playing like original music and doing shows with you and I'm assuming a band that you have together for that?
So for the church stuff, we do actually have some originals,
Oh,
that the church,
really?
yeah, that my worship pastor at the church has written. And so we do those songs from time to time, but haven't we haven't like done anything out in the community or anything like that. But obviously, like I do have my band now, Tyson James Roy. We're a four piece. And what's really funny is that my producer that was on In My Bones, that helped me produce In My Bones and helped me out with the production and stuff with that, he came he came from Indiana as well. So
Oh, cool.
him, yeah, so him and my old producer both worked in the same studio together. And I was working with Jonah at the time, whenever I was under a different artist name, under the Edify. And so I did a bunch of music with Jonah, and he was my producer. And I had no idea that AJ owned the studio that Jonah was working out of. Yeah,
It's a
and
small
so
world.
it's such a small world. And I was working at the UPS store, and I would see AJ come in, and I'm like, I think that's AJ Burning. I think that's him. Um, and yeah, it was. And like little did I know that like this guy that like I was helping return his Amazon packages and stuff for his wife, that one day I'd be moving to Nashville, and then now he's my producer. He's like my right hand man, for In My Bones and these next couple projects that we have coming out. I'm like, what a small world.
That
I
is
would have
super
had
cool.
no idea.
Speaking of In My Bones, that is the first song that you've released under Tyson James Roy,
Yeah.
this new artist project. Can you tell us a little bit about that one? And because I'm really excited to see like what you did before, and then we'll also dig into Find Me Now. But I'd love to find out like In My Bones, where did that come from? And talk us through that one.
Yeah. In My Bones um, it was about experiencing, going through the emotions of what it means to leave. And so I actually wrote that song specifically for Nashville. Like I specifically wrote it for, like, this is how I think that I'm gonna feel whenever I leave Indiana and move to Nashville.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it's like I gotta go walk out the door for the last time alone with myself in a landslide of emotions that I have yet to know. And it was like, yeah, like because I didn't know what any of those emotions were gonna be just yet. And what was interesting is like I had originally planned on recording that song and doing recording the song in Indiana before I even moved to Nashville. And the Lord was like, "Oh, we've got other plans. Like, you're not going to record this song in Indiana. You're going to go to Nashville and you're going to record this song because you wrote this song for Nashville. You
Wow.
wrote this song to feel and to process those emotions that you were going to have and experience in Nashville." And so that song, it means a lot to me, and it's super rocky, and it's also I think it's 5 minutes and 12 seconds long. And so I'm not scared to write a long song. And of course, Find Me Now is like 3 minutes 9 seconds. So
You got variety.
shaved off 2 minutes. Yeah, shaved off 2 minutes for this one.
No, I love that. Also true, like some of my favorite songs are long, and if you enjoy the song, it doesn't really matter how long it is as long as you're getting something
Yeah,
out of it. So,
yeah, and I hope people enjoy that one. Um, I mean, it was the very first one that I had under a new artist, which was a very different sound from what the Edify was, and much more closer to like the roots, the rock roots, the red rocker roots, that I grew up with. So I definitely think that that song emulates a lot of the TJR sound.
I love that. And also it's kind of like your first stamp is like, all right, this is where we start and like it's only more to grow and only more to go from
Yeah.
there.
Yes, definitely, definitely, definitely. It was uh, a starting what's it called, a jumping point or
Jumping
whatever,
off point. Yeah.
jumping off point, yeah,
Or
for
starting
what
point.
was to
Yeah.
come in the future. Starting, yeah, whatever,
All the above.
all the above.
No, I love that. Okay, so now I'm so excited to dig into your latest release, which is out everywhere now. You can go listen to it. It's on all the streaming platforms. It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. You can buy it on iTunes. Maybe even start there. That'd be great to support Tyson and his
Yeah.
art. Um, but Find Me Now. Talk to me about this one.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. My I had a family member of mine. She messaged me this morning, and she was like, "I'm in tears. Like this song is so much," and I was like, amazing, you know. I said you just got to break through. And she said that she is going through some stuff, and I said you just have to break through, and that's what the bridge is. I won't stop till I find myself. I've got to break through. Um, and so obviously, you were there in the writing process of this. Jan was there in the writing process of this. And so I guess to make a long story short, it was basically just about restarting, tearing down whatever kingdom or castle that you've built, and you know, restarting again and building something better, building something greater. Um, then I talked about like I hit a low, like a really really low point in my life a couple years ago. It was like the lowest point that I've ever hit before, and I had no choice but to rebuild and to try finding myself again, and not my identity in anybody else or anything, but finding me. Um, and I think I won't stop till I find myself. I've got to break through. It's like that is so powerful. Those words impact so many people. Um, But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna search the mountains and the seas to the skies, turn over every rock, read between the lines. And I remember whenever we were writing that chorus, I was like, oh my gosh, this song is happening so naturally and so organically. And so while it talks about really deep topics, it's also really uplifting. And that was one of the points that you and I were trying to hit. It's like, yeah, like we want the song to hit your soul, and we want you to feel like those emotions, but we also want you to like be hopeful for the future.
Totally.
And yeah, I mean, you were there for it.
Yeah, no, I wanted you to share like your perspective and like so as Tyson said, it was Tyson, myself, and Jan in a room in this little like wood cabin out in the woods, like
Yep.
in this like super cold February weekend. And at the time we were at a writing camp. So we were like randomly paired together, which was really cool because we had not written together before that point in time. And I just have to
Yeah.
applaud you as an artist for being like willing to talk and share because I feel like
All things.
that is such a I think a lot of people can relate to the feeling of feeling lost or like I'd put all this time
Mm-hmm.
and this energy in building this life or this kingdom, as you were saying, and then you're kind of like, wait a minute, I'm a little bit lost in the sauce, or I'm things
Yeah.
aren't working out the way I planned, and what do I do? Do I basically like throw it out the window? Do I start fresh? Like, how do I move forward? And I feel like people feel
Yeah.
that way and don't always know how to talk about it. And so I just have to applaud you for being willing to share your experience in a room with strangers, essentially, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's you have to risk it. You can't not risk it. Um, and also that was one of the basically like the only song for the weekend that was kind of geared towards me, you know?
Hmm.
Um, and so I got to share my experience with you guys, and then it just became everybody was riffing off of this and riffing off of that. Um, and so I had no idea where the song was gonna go. Like I mean, like yeah, like we were writing it for me because I was the one with the I with this idea, then the guitar chords and everything. But it's like what you guys brought to the table just made it that much better. And I mean, Jan with his insane production skills, and then you with your crazy talented ability to write down every single thing. Every single thing, everybody. Paige, there was not a single word that Paige missed. And you bet whenever I was like, wait, what did I say? And Paige is like, oh, you said this. I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, I guess I did. I guess I did say that.
That is so funny. Yeah, shout out Jan, his production. And that was really cool too, where Tyson came in with the coolest like guitar, and you actually hear it in the final version, this like moving guitar part, which is like
Mhm.
super cool and really hooky. And immediately we were like,
Yeah.
yes, like that is super cool. We gotta write that. And then like we all get to bring our like specialty. I think that was like truly
Hmm.
such a well balanced room because we all got to bring
Yeah.
our skill set, where it's like
Yep.
Jan got to bring the production and you got to bring your artistry and your super cool guitar licks and these hooks and your emotional
Yep.
piece, and then I got to help with like the lyrics and like some of the melody ideas. And like
Hmm.
when you bring those three things together and you get people that are willing to like throw out ideas and like throw things at the wall and see what sticks, you get something super, super cool.
Yeah. Well, it was a very good recipe for success, I think. Um, because like you said, like we all have our strong suits that are very distinguishable to our artistry. And yeah, I mean, on production, you're helping with, the lyrics and the melody, and then I've got the idea and the vision for it. And I think one of the amazing parts about writing that song was being transparent about how I was feeling, and then you
Mm.
guys like reciprocating that. And you're like, I understand that. Like I know what you mean by that. And I've done a couple, co-writes where it's like they're like, I don't know what you mean by that, you know? And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, so we're not on like this same like wavelength. Um, and I think that's a huge thing too, is like being on kind of the same wavelength of everybody in the room.
Yeah. Like buying
And
into the vision. Like you said, like you had a vision for the song, like a story you wanted to tell, and like you communicating it, and then us being able to be like, yes, like I've felt similarly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, precisely, precisely, precisely. Um it's so great whenever you have so many talented people, and it's like none of us were trying to outdo the other. There was no challenge to impress. It was nothing like that. It was like, let's just write the best possible song that we can. And I feel like I kind of remember you saying that a couple times, like we're just gonna write the best song that we can. Like this is just gonna be the best song that we can possibly make. And I was like, yeah. Absolutely. This is going to be the best song that we can make. We're going to make this the best song it possibly can be. And that was one of the only songs where like by the end of the session, I'm like, I don't really think I need to change any words.
Wow.
I don't think that I need to make any like crazy revisions or crazy edits or anything like that. Like it was just the song just happened. It just was. And I think that's just a recipe for a really really great song.
Yeah. No, I love that. And another thing I really respect about you as an artist is you were very like transparent about like I wouldn't phrase it that way. Or let's tweak this word. I wouldn't use that word. And like for
Yeah.
and I don't want to put words in Jan's mouth at all, but like from a producer's perspective and a songwriter's perspective, we're kind of like we're here to help add value and like help build ideas and throw out ideas. But at the end of the day, like I want you to feel confident about like what you're saying feels true to you.
Yeah.
And one thing that was very important to me in that room is like never making an artist feel like they have to do anything with the song afterwards, but hopefully doing a
Mm,
good job that they connect with it. And that's like the goal.
yeah.
Like, do you connect with it? Whatever happens next will happen or it won't. But like at the end of the day, did we walk out and feel like we wrote a good song, you know?
Totally. Totally. And yeah, yeah, you're very honest and what you said right there. And like, yes. I agree with everything you just said right there. Everything you just said right there was completely factual. It was completely honest. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's just like, as a songwriter, there are some words that I'm like, I just don't like that word.
Yeah.
I just can't. I'm not the one to sing that word that way, you know. And so, I definitely think it's really important whenever you're in the room to stick to your guns. But then also like be willing to be a little bit mendable. But like luckily none of us are incredibly I don't think we're incredibly stubborn people whenever it comes to writing. Um, and luckily I haven't written with very many stubborn people yet.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. Might change
I'm
the
sure I probably
experience
will
a
in the
little bit.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, you just have to be flexible, um, and make everybody feel comfortable. And I think we were all comfortable in that room.
Yeah.
And I mean the vibe was there and I mean, you know, a good jumping off point is definitely a good vibe in the room. I mean, you're in a cabin out in the middle of nowhere. We're downstairs sitting on some creaky, uncomfortable kind of chairs. And like Jan has got his back towards us for like most of the session because he's just over here freaking, thinking of all these crazy production things, and you and I were just like riffing off of each other, and then Jan would bring something to the table and he'd be like, let's think about that, or like,
Yeah. No,
I
let's
think I think
change
I think
this.
we could
Yeah.
better phrase it. Yeah, yeah, we can change this. I think there was only like one time in that whole session where I was like, oh, but I kind of like that. And then like, but like in hindsight, like I'm like, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. But like I feel like we all agreed that like these words were the words to say. These words, these melody lines, like this was the melody line.
Yeah.
This was a melody line. Like this was the hook line. And there wasn't like once we found it, we were like, that's it. That's it. That's the hook.
We found the vision.
We found
Yeah.
the vision. Yeah. And I remember you were so excited. Like you were able to keep up with the energy of me and then some.
Yes.
And I love that. I love that so much about writing with you. And obviously like we've done a couple writes together, ever since with Kira. Um and so, it's about bringing that great energy into the room and staying optimistic, and like you said, it's like whatever the artist does with the song afterwards, like it just is what it is. And I refused to let this song be slept on. And I was like, for a while, sorry, not a while, for a very short time, I was like, I don't know if this like really goes with the sound that like I envision myself going for. But honestly, I don't really care because this song is too good to throw it on the back burner. And I don't want to give it to anybody else. Like I want this song to be, my song and my artistry. And then you guys like facilitated all of that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I respect that so much. And like I am not an artist, so I can only sympathize with feeling like I have a vision for what my art looks like and how I package it or my branding, whatever type of term you want to use. But essentially like how do I show up to my fans and to my audience? And
Yeah.
to like slightly step outside that lane can be super scary and I applaud you for
Hmm.
doing it. And I love the direction that this one came about production wise. So, can you tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about the production? You and Jan went back after that weekend to continue to work on the production as well, right? And
Hmm.
because the craziest thing about a songwriter is once you write it, I essentially like will hear it again when it's done. You know what I mean? Like once the like main pieces of the puzzle are written. Like we had
Yeah.
that guitar part, we had the lyric, we had the melodies, we had the vibe, but like, and Jan was doing some production in the room. But then essentially to me, it's this like big proverbial black box until it's finally done. So can you like pull back the curtain just a little bit about what it was like bringing that production to life?
Proverbial black box. I love that. Um, I mean, it took us I don't remember exactly how many sessions that we did together, but it wasn't very many. Um, and I think a lot of that was really just due in part to Jan's ability to hear things, um, and to kind of think like and he was always experimenting with certain sounds and stuff like that. And but then I had to be really transparent whenever I heard something where I'm like,
Not
uh,
it.
not it, not it. And and he'd be like, yeah, I agree. Or he'd be like, yeah, no, I can hear that. Let's find something better. And so I think that was one of those really cool things about working with Jan is if we said something, he'd be like, okay, let's just find something better. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like there is something better. There's a better sound for this. Like but like as far as it goes for like the basis and the foundation of um the beat and the kick and the snare, I mean we've it's pretty close to what we had in the demo, all things considered. And I remember hearing getting back that first demo and listening to it after we had left on the car ride back home, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, how are we gonna make this better? How are we gonna make this better?" Because I already felt like it was so good, but I knew that it needed more.
The
Um,
polishing. Yeah.
it needed the polishing. It needed the M&Ms and the Oreos and the sprinkles on top of, the Neapolitan, ice cream there. But the basis of the song was pretty much already set in stone. And then the only thing that we added um post that trip was we just extended the bridge,
I
really.
heard that. Yeah. It
Yeah, yeah,
became
yeah,
chanty. It became like an anthem, like something that
definitely.
people can repeat to themselves. Like if you're going through a tough time or you feel like you're in a similar spot, you can like, okay, I'm gonna repeat this to myself until it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's so funny because like I'm over here singing my own song, and I'm like, oh man, that's kind of I don't know, I don't know. I'm like I kind of feel like if I'm singing a song, it's probably kind of because it's a good song.
You mean like out and about, like the melody
Yeah,
just
just
pops
like
into your
yeah,
brain?
the melody just pops in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that's such a good. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That is my song. Um, but
Heck
it
yeah.
took us a couple mixes to to get it to where it needed to be. Um, and like I specifically remember, there was one word that I said. Uh, it was fire, and how I had phrased it, and how we had originally done like the demo vocals, and I didn't realize I said it like this until afterwards, and we're already like two demos deep. And the word was, I've been drowning with my lungs on, what was it? Fire, or something like that.
Oh, like
I
an
just,
extra
I didn't,
A.
yeah, it was. lungs on fire. Fire. Yeah, that's what it was. It was like fire. And I was like, ew, this is so disgusting. This is so gross. Jan, we have to change the way I said that. Grab a different vocal comp and put it in there because I cannot take this stupid way that I said fire. It was like so embarrassing. And I was like, I couldn't release the song if I said the word that way.
Oh
And
my gosh.
luckily, whenever you have a great producer who's taking a bunch of vocal tracks and he's like, "Oh, I totally agree. Let's flip that word."
Let's
And
swap
so
it.
then we
Yeah.
did. And then we put the right word fire, pronunciation of the word fire in it.
Shout out Yad, you didn't let this song die. You swapped
Yeah.
out fire. It would have sat on the hard drive forever.
Dude, it was so gross. I was like, I don't even remember saying the word like that, but Lord, I hope to never say it like that again.
Oh my God, my fast forward vision for you is like you playing this out live to all these audiences, and they might capture one or two versions of you saying it that way and be like, "Are you sure you don't say it like this, Tyson?"
Dude, every time I play this song, I sing it out. I'm like, I've been drowning with my lungs on fire. Like
You
really
think about it?
enunciating the not fire.
Oh
No.
my God, I love it.
This song is it sounds great in production, but it's also one of those songs that whenever we wrote it, it also sounds great acoustically.
Yeah,
And I've played it acoustically out a couple times, and people are like, that song is sick. And I'm like, okay, cool. People like it acoustically. Just wait till you hear the final production. Hopefully you'll like it,
even
even
more.
more so.
Yeah,
And I think like well, I'll throw this out there. I've been thinking about maybe making like a quiet version, like
oh,
a
like a
stripped
stripped
back
down.
slow version.
I truly think that the making of a great song, I think to write a great song, what you said about having a vibe, everybody buying into the vision, like connecting,
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think that is like the recipe for a strong song. But I think how you know that you have a great song at the very end, can it stand alone,
Yeah.
voice and an instrument? Like if it can't sit alone without all the, you know, sprinkles and the Oreos and the cherries and stuff,
Yeah.
like there are songs like that. Like if I'm going to the club, I want something with all the sprinkle. Like I go to the club. If I'm going if I'm going out though, like I want like something that's beat driven and like production
Yep.
driven. Um, but yeah, I think like a stripped down version, that's how you know a song's really good.
I agree. I agree. I'm good. I was um I got my hands on an acoustic piano a couple weeks ago, and I started kind of fleshing out the song on piano. And so I took one little reel. So I'm gonna post that reel and drop it eventually, and be like, "Do y'all want a slow version of Find Me Now? Because I kind of like it, and if you guys like it." Maybe I'm gonna work on it and we'll get a slower version of Find Me Now because it is a 3 minute long song and
Yeah.
um it's also in the key of B, and I just love singing in the key of B. So,
And it is emotional. Like I remember writing
yeah.
the chorus feeling like I could not stop singing the chorus. Like I think
Yeah.
but this is one of my strongest choruses that I've gotten to be a part of. And
Oh,
truly, like I remember leaving camp. There were a few songs that I was like, these are great, great songs, but this was one that I was like, damn, this chorus like really hits for me, you know? And I'm just so happy that you also were super, super passionate and felt super connected to it. And we got a song. We wrote a
we
song.
got a
What a
song.
win.
Yes. Yes. This is the and this it's great because this is the first song that I've co-written and released.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, like I've like all of my music has before in my bones. And my project under the Edify, like those are basically just I wrote all of those. And then I just had a couple people come in and just give some revisions, to kind of help me out, but it was it wasn't never like a co-writing like process to this extent. So I think it's really cool that like my very first official like super solid co-write something came out of it.
What a win. I'm
And
so
now it's out in
happy
the
to be
world.
part of it.
I know. I know, and out of all people, it's just like, and I was telling, you about this the other week whenever we were on the phone, like, there's a reason why people like keep on wanting to write with you, Paige, and it's like, not only are you a great person, but you're a great, artist to write with, and you have great ideas and things on Find Me Now that I wouldn't have thought of by myself. Um, so it's like, I couldn't have written this song, without you and without Yawn. It's like these songs, like a song like this doesn't just come by myself. Like some of these songs have to happen with other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much. It truly means a lot. And I'm just
Yeah.
so gracious and happy that I get to be in rooms with people and get to make great art. And truly, I was so inspired that day. And I know you've talked about like the playing out, and you talked about how all your original songs were all solo writes. So I'm curious, like, what's your favorite part? Do you love the writing and the creating side? Do you like the recording side? Do you like the performing? Like, what's your favorite part of being an artist?
Man, I like all of it. Honestly. I like all of it because the writing process is where you get to like get in touch with yourself, and to solidify some things or to discover. Um, but then the playing out is kind of like where things kind of hit real life, right? And you're like, now I have to hopefully have everybody else in the room like feel this too. Like I
Yeah.
spent so much time working on this chorus. It's like I want this chorus. This chorus was effective to me. Now I want it to be effective to you and doing it out to hopefully, have other people feel that and then get, you know, positive reinforcement back. It's like, okay, I've written a couple songs where like it's kind of flopped and I'm like, yeah, no, I kind of agree. I this song isn't like this song. But some songs you're like, this is a song. And the people will tell you if that's the song. And so there's been a couple that like I've ditched and like for like my writers rounds and stuff like that because I'm like, I've tried this song time and time again, and while I kind of like it, it's not resonating with people. And that's okay. Um, I guess
Yeah.
I'll just do this one by myself whenever I feel like singing it. Um, but then also, like a good song is just a good song. And you can't run away from a good song. Like a good song is just a good song. And people like a good song. And luckily music is totally subjective. Um, but there's been a couple songs like I've performed out live. I'm like, it's not really my favorite song in the world. And then like somebody comes up to you and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I love that song." And you're like, "Really?
Really? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You like that one? Okay, cool."
It's shocking the ones that people come up to you afterwards and are like, I love that. And you're like, of all the ones I've played, that was the one that you liked the
That
most.
was the one?
But yeah, you never know.
You sure about that?
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Did you hear this one? Just kidding.
I spent way more time on this other song and not on this one, and you like this one more. I am confused.
That is so funny. And I heard someone say this one time that like sometimes it's about timing too. So like the one that you really love, like maybe it's just not the time
Yeah.
for it. Like it might come back
Oh, yeah.
around and like it might hit in a new way to new ears at, a different point in time. But I think it's really special when you have the ones that you love too, because you're kind of like like you
Yeah.
said, whether or not you play them out all the time or not, you're just like, nah,
Yeah.
this is when I need a moment of a good song. This is the good song to me, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, like we all have those songs where it's like I don't want to like play this one out. Like this song is like kind of like a little off kilter, from most of the music that I would do. But it's about just like writing a couple songs that are just different. Like writing
Yeah.
something that you wouldn't normally write. Like I'm definitely not a country guy, but I've got a couple of songs on the sides where I'm like, oh, I kind of like this one. This one's kind of country. I'm probably never gonna like, play it out or anything, but at least I know I can kind of I can write
I
that.
can lean that
You know.
way.
I
Yeah,
can lean that way if I want to. I'm not gonna show anybody, but
it's all a muscle. You're
it
flexing your
is,
yeehaw muscle.
yes, flexing the yeehaw muscle. Dang, that's so true.
That is so funny. Oh my God. Well, Tyson, you've shared so much great advice about like, as an artist in the room, what type of environment are you looking for to be able to bring art to life? And like, how can you feel connected when you're in the room? What's the best piece of advice that you've ever gotten?
Mm, I know that it's like I feel this has definitely been said a lot, but um just be yourself and be a good hang. And everybody always talks about being a good hang. And it's like it is so cliche and I feel like we've heard it a million times. But like it is really important to be yourself and to be a good hang and then that is translated better. Like we know whenever people are a little bit fake, you know.
Yeah. You get
You're
a
like,
vibe.
this guy's this person's trying a little too hard. And and then now like I'm kind of turned off, from creating or opening myself up because this like you're just trying too hard. And but you don't need to. Um this is so funny. It's but real recognize real.
True.
I'm just saying, like, I know it sounds so cliche, but I mean it's real. Like real recognize real, but then like real people also recognize fake people and people who are trying too hard. And it's like don't be that person. You don't need to be that person. It's so much more beneficial for you to walk into a room and to be humble. And it's just like one of the phrases that one of my mentors had told me. He's like, dude, like, um, your bartender or your waiter is a way better guitarist than you.
Oh man.
And
Especially
I was
living
like,
here. Oh my God.
especially, yeah, especially living here. And that's he was here for over a decade. And he was like, man, like, just think about every person that like you meet and you interact with. They say that they're into music, like, you don't know if they have a Grammy,
That
you
is so
know?
true. Oh my gosh.
Like you literally have no idea who some of these people are because their names are out there in the spotlight. Um, but to always treat people as if they have a Grammy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, big facts. Like, yeah,
Dropping
you're
knowledge right there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, treat people like they're a big deal, and then most of the time they'll treat you like you're a big deal.
Yeah.
That's because real people recognize real people.
No, I love that. That's also so true. I remember one time I was new to town and to um I went to watch around and the people on stage absolutely like killed it. And I was like, "Oh my God, these are phenomenal talents." And then like 3 or 4 weeks later, I was out somewhere getting food somewhere with a friend and the waiter, not for my table but for one of the other tables, I was like, wait a minute, why do I know him? And it took me like 10 minutes of thinking about it because I was new to town, I didn't know anybody, you know what I mean? But it
Hmm.
took 10 minutes. I was like, oh wait a minute, that was the guy that played that round and he was like
Wow.
sold out the room or something. So I'm like, you really don't know. You never know.
You never know. It is so true. It is so true. New people that come to Nashville treat everybody like they've got a freaking Grammy, dude. Because you don't know if
They might,
they
yeah.
just might.
Or they were nominated for one, like
Or at least
crazy.
they were nominated for something. Yeah.
That's wild. Are there any particular artists or musicians on your bucket list that you would love to collaborate with one day or someone
Oh
you'd love to
man.
work with?
Most definitely. Um, so I know there's a guy named gonna pull him up here. I like just found him the other week. His name is Daniel Spriggs. And I really like his stuff. And there's another artist named Much More. Um, I'd love to write with him one day. Oh man, there's just like so many people that I would love to like open for. And so now like I've started cultivating a little Google Drive list of people that I would like to one day open for. Um, and it also helps to like stay in your lane for like your, like who it is that you want to reach out to. Um, like obviously like my rock and roll stuff really isn't gonna flow too well at a Lainey Wilson concert, you know.
Yeah. Very
But
true.
I mean like right now like I'm on like the Jack Wharf band, Evan Honer, Virginia Man, The Strike, but the song that we based Find Me Now off of was Automatic by Half Alive. Um, and that song was kind of like the basis. Like I heard that song and I was like, oh my gosh, I've never wanted to write a song like this. And so I showed Jan, this song and we listened to it and he's like, okay, cool. You know? Um, so yeah, Half Alive. I would love to open one day for Half Alive. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Maybe they'll hear that one day. It was used as a reference track, and that people, a lot of people do that. They're like, "This is the sound I'm going
Yeah.
for. This is the vibe I want to have. This is how I want certain parts of the song to hit." And so,
Hmm.
hey, Half-Life, if you're hearing this now, Tyson's looking.
Yeah. 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 Please, Half Alive. Hit me up like ASAP. I will open for you anytime you need me. Anytime.
I love it.
But I love giving. I think it's really important to listen to people who just aren't in the mainstream, and to find like those certain people that are like coming on like the up and up, and being like a fan of theirs now, before they blow up, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I remember whenever he dropped, this song, they dropped that song. It's kind of like it's like 21 Pilots. Like not very many people knew about 21 Pilots. Um, but like I remember whenever they first dropped their Vessel album and I was like addicted to it. And then next thing you know, 2 years later, they're like one of the biggest bands in all of the US, and touring the world. Um, 21 Pilots, if you're out there, I'd totally open up for you guys too.
Oh my gosh, they came to Bridgestone Arena. Was it last year or I think it was last year, and I work there, so I got to like watch a little bit of their
Hmm.
set. I didn't know it was a duo. I
Yeah,
didn't know it was like the main singer also plays bass, and then there's, I
yeah,
think it's a drummer,
yep,
and that's literally the whole band.
yeah. Yeah, that's that, and then some insane, tracks and productions and stuff like that. I'm pretty positive those guys are from Ohio,
Cool. Hey,
so
Ohio's
they're
like relatively
neighbors.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, I guess Tyler and was it Josh or Joseph? Oh no, I can't remember.
I wouldn't know, to be totally honest.
I think it's
So you're
Josh.
already doing better than me. I love it. Well, Tyson, thank you so much for coming on the So Rude podcast.
Well, thanks for having me, Paige. This is fun. This is the first podcast I've ever done before.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, welcome. First off, you definitely know how to hold a conversation and are so well spoken. So there are more coming down your pipeline for sure, I can imagine. But thank you
Sometimes
again.
I overtalk. It's so easy to overtalk, dude.
No, I
I don't
think
want to.
that's great. People get to know you.
Yes, yeah, precisely, precisely. You just got, cut back the rambling a little bit. You know,
I
it's
got
like
you,
we're
friend.
we're here, we're here in this moment.
I love it. And every time I have a guest on the show, I always end with the same final question, which is, what is one thing you would tell your younger self?
I think I wrote a song about this one time. It's gonna get better. Yeah, it's gonna get
Yeah.
better. From it's like life was great years and years ago. Um, but it's gonna get better. every year, every year. Even um, what I tell people, I'm like, even the worst days here in Nashville are the best days because you're here and you're pursuing your dream. It's like that's an amazing place to be, and how honored and privileged and spoiled we are to be here in Nashville trying to chase our dreams. It's like even on those super duper terrible days that you had as a kid, and they could be, I mean, they were rough. Some of those days were just incredibly rough, but man, there's so much more to life that we just haven't got to see the bigger picture for just yet. And the longer that we live, the more that we experience, the more that we begin to see the bigger picture.
So powerful and also very on brand for Find Me Now. Life gets better.
Yes,
Look, keep
yes,
searching.
yes. I know. I love this song.
I love it. Well, Tyson, where can people find you if they are interested in keeping along with your journey and following you as an artist?
Yeah, so I have music out on all of the major streaming platforms under Tyson James Roy. Um, my YouTube channel, Tyson James Roy, Instagram, Tyson James Roy, Facebook, Tyson James Roy. It's all right there. It's three first names. And what was funny is I had somebody the other day while I was back at home, and I told him my artist name, and he's like, "Oh, dude, you got three first names." And I was like, "Oh, I guess I do. I
Yeah.
never even thought about that.
You know what?
Not for 1 second did that ever cross my mind." So you know, kind of hope that hopefully people can remember. Just he's got three first names. Super easy. What's it? Four syllables, right? Yeah, four syllables.
Yeah. I love it. TJR for short, right?
It's yes, it is TJR for short. And if you look at the Find Me Now cover art, there's a little TJR right down there on the bottom right side. And eventually we're going to make it a logo. I'm still trying to cultivate having a good logo. Um, and then eventually there's probably going to be some logo along the way that has a mustache somehow incorporated in it.
If you are listening to this in the audio version, you are missing out. Tyson has a amazing mustache. The little handlebars, it goes up on the sides, the whole nine
Yes.
yards. You'll have
The
to go
whole
check out the video version to see it.
yes. Yeah, totally, totally. I don't think I could ever get rid of it. At least not right now. Now is not the time.
Hey, you're building a brand, and it's
It
part of the
is it
brand.
it's so on brand. It's so on brand.
I love it. Well, thank you so much again, Tyson, for joining the So Rude podcast. And if this is your first time tuning in to the So Rude podcast, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you follow along on Instagram and TikTok, So Rude Podcast. We're on YouTube and Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
And we are on Spotify. YouTube has the video version if you're someone that likes to watch the show, or we have audio versions as well. And as always, have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll chat again soon. Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with every episode. See you next time.